Cunty lady just came up to purchase some Swiss rolls, says oh I smashed these and runs to put them back and get new ones before I could say anything. So I smash her new ones without her seeing. Enjoy bitch, by user well this is special. Basically the title. A rude bitch just came into my store and grabbed some random shit including 2 Little Debbie Swiss rolls. As she's walking up I hear her go oh I smashed these. And she runs and swaps them out with new ones. When she gets to my counter I say wow. Sucks for whoever gets those next I guess she goes oh I don't care. In a very entitled cunty tone. She also has a pair of gloves sitting on the counter and as I'm reaching for them she goes I don't want those gloves anymore. Alrighty then. So as I'm reaching for them, the Swiss rolls are directly under my arm, she turns away for a second and I gently lower my arm down on top of her Swiss rolls and smash the shit out of them. Enjoy bitch. I had my cousin's car towed from my driveway, by user Armando L27. So basically my cousin parked his car on my driveway and he's blocking my work truck. He parked on my driveway because he didn't have a residential parking permit to park on my street. However, he parked directly behind me instead of the other side, when we have a 4-car driveway. He left from the local airport to avoid paying for parking. The worst part is that he took his keys with him on his trip. Also, I couldn't squirm my way out either. I have a 2500 Denali and a Classic in the garage that I wouldn't consider damaging for this inconvenience. Moreover, he didn't ask for permission or even give a heads up. I literally woke up and saw him blocking my driveway and I texted him to move his car. Then he told me he's in Texas and won't be back for a week. My cousin and I never established a real relationship. Our relationship is just superficial. Ultimately, I called my PD and had his shit towed. I don't intend on paying for this either. I have not notified my cousin about his car being towed. He will find out this Thursday. Loud outside hot tub orgy in a residential area, by user Griseld Loveskats. Many years ago, my husband and I bought a house. The house behind us was filled with a changing roster of college guys. We lived in a university town, so we expect this and many of the disturbances that come from living near college kids. The only major problem that I had with them was the loud hot tub orgies they had 4 nights a week. Wednesday through Saturday nights were orgy nights. Asking them to at least keep them quieter so our 2yo could sleep got no results. We didn't want to call the cops because that would likely put them all on the sex offender registry. It was fairly new and our local cops were really cracking down on public nudity. Where I live in the US, being outside naked in your own yard is still considered public nudity by the cops. Our house was at a slightly higher elevation than their house. So if I was on my back porch, I got a full visual of the orgy. It wasn't something I wanted my 2yo to see. It wasn't something I wanted to see either. If they were quiet, I probably would have ignored them, but they were so very loud all the time. I finally had enough and took my new rechargeable flashlight out onto the porch. I shined that light on them and they stopped moving almost instantly. All the females and some of the guys took off running for the house. I yelled that I had some great shots if they wanted copies. A couple of weeks of blessed silence followed. One day I was out working in the backyard and one of the guys asked me about the photos. I told him I didn't actually take any, I just wanted them to stop having loud sex in public. He complained rather bitterly that none of the girls he knew would come over for hot tub sex and I had ruined his entire college career. Who knew changing coffee could cause such carnage, by user WildAssageUS. When I was a student I took temp jobs through the summer holidays to make ends meet, and I worked through an employment agency. I, M19, was placed in an office full of catty women way older than me, who made it clear from the outset that they didn't want me there, and were rude and isolated me. One of my jobs was to buy the coffee and load the coffee machine each morning and afternoon as necessary. Revenge was simple. For an entire week I loaded decaf coffee and watched them slump, get snappy with caffeine withdrawal and generally suffer a little bit. The next week, I loaded Lava Java by Taylor's instead and watched them run around like monkeys on crack. It was joyous. Edit. I've since learned that some people have quite the digestive reaction to caffeine. I imagine some were constipated in week 1, and some had the world fall out of their arse in week 2. My client refused to pay for my service. Now, her FB ads tell her she's a scammer, by user BikePower6749. So I was hired to make an advertisement for this cosmetic startup. I normally don't accept local clients because I have a lot of shitty experience with them, but this client sounds like she's willing to pay my service, so I accepted her. I actually didn't charge that much. I only charge her $60 per week, and on average, I charge a foreign client $300 per week. The first 2 weeks were good. She provided me with every material I needed to make an effective advertisement despite her limited budget. However, we began having argument too weak. She's suddenly demanding our ads should have at least 1,000 clicks per day, which is fucking absurd because her budget only allows her to have around 1,200 reaches per day. I told her that for it to be possible, she should increase her budget. Suddenly, she called me a fraud, despite my ads having at least 300 clicks per day. And now, she refused to give me her payment. For the last 2 weeks, she's ignoring my call. This weekend, I think my number is blocked. Stupid her because she didn't remove me from her page, so I decided to be petty. Her ads are still running, so I decided to change it. I changed the pictures to a text post which says "Don't buy from this." The owner refused to give me my salary and irate VA she called a fraud for not meeting her absurd expectation. I also included screenshots of our conversation to back it up. I did it last night, and I'm sure any moment she will contact me. But I'm done with her. That $120 she owes me is hers to keep. As for me, I'm not accepting local clients anymore. I'm just done with them.